Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Franchise Pearson, and welcome again to my channel. November 17th of 2025, I have 7:50 in the PM. Let's say it together. Praise God, from whom all blessings flow, and may we endure until the end, as we are covered in our precious Holy Father's blood. That's how we gonna do it. Well, tonight, I want to talk about something out of all the videos I've ever done over the last 4+ years, including the last channel, I might have only talked about this twice, but never this deep. But Pearson, stop the suspense. I want to talk about this. Yep. And we're not going to play Pop the Balloon. We're going to play that game. We're just going to do more of that adult thing. Now, what happened over the past week, I've been coming across a lot of relationship videos. And I want to delve into 2, maybe 4 of them. The first one, Anton Daniels of the day, he had a lady who is that's what she does. Professionally, if there is such a thing. She makes her living doing that with very affluent, well-to-do clients. Okay? And she was giving marriage advice on this, because she said over the period of time that she has worked as that worker, a lot of conversations happen when 2 people take their clothes off. I'm sure it does. And there's no connection, no lovemaking, intimacy. 6 months, a year, I think even 5 years. And that blew my mind. Then I came across a pastor and had a good time watching this. He's going to be with the Lord. He had an airplane crash years ago. Pastor Miles Monroe. And his topic is why men need sex, and how couples can balance desire in marriage. It is a very, very beautiful video. I will put both of those in the description. But yeah, we're going to talk about that tonight. Now, and I want to get your response on what I'm talking about. I'm pausing because I'm thinking about other videos that it will just come to me naturally. But that's a natural thing that people do, right? When you're married. And unfortunately, in a promiscuous society, it happens without being married. But how many of you all believe that sex is a form of communication? I believe it is. I believe that a man thinks and feels and desires similar yet different from a woman. And a woman the same. And because man was given dominion, his view of everything that's around him, including that which is Eve, which was extracted from him, that is the rib, he always wants to become a part of that. And she always wants to feel complete. You can argue and switch it either way. A man wants to feel complete because he's missing a rib. A woman wants to feel whole because she needs to be a part of that which she came from. So this is a form of communication. Wouldn't you agree? I think only adults can really talk like this. Which means you can be 16 and really talk like this if you study. But let's listen to the lady first. Ladies first, right? Let's listen to what she has to say, and then we're gonna listen to the pastor. Okay? Here we go.
I would say the most common reason that I hear is that they have not actually done the deed in extended periods of time. So numbers that I've heard is 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. I'm sorry, but if you are not doing the deed with your partner, I think you're actually delusional if you don't think that he is going to go out and try to find that need somewhere else. Men are a little bit different to us in the sense that most of them feel connection and love through physical touch. Okay, majority of them, I would say 80 or 90% easily. When they are not getting that in the marriage or in the partnership, they are going to look to have that need fulfilled somewhere else. And when I say things like this, women are like, oh, well, you're saying we have to do it. We have to do it. I'm not saying you have to do it, but I'm also saying that they don't really have to be loyal to you if you're not going to fulfill that need.
What?
She said a lot there. And we'll take it step by step. Ladies, has your daughter, your cousin, your niece, have you heard about this from your grandmother or friends or extended family members in a relationship? Because she said 6 months to 10 years, there's no romance, there's no lovemaking. I think that does something to the brain. I really think the lack of affection, the lack of that connection, I think it does something to the brain and it strains the whole relationship. Now, I want to ask the men the same thing. And when I ask this, will a man look somewhere else? And be honest. You're saved now, but for those of you all who weren't saved, did you go out and clown if your girlfriend didn't make love to you? For whatever the reason was? And did you get divorced as a man, whether you were Christian or not, because your wife wasn't affectionate? And women, did you do the same thing? Did you leave your boyfriend or did you leave your husband? Because a woman, that touch or that connection, that intimacy, if it's not there, I really think that it affects a woman in such a way that it just gets extreme. I know from personal, because I've made mistakes, but I also challenged the woman like, hey, when I was married, I'm trying to communicate to you, but for some reason you always telling me you're stressed out from work or whatever. You know, just be honest tonight. Now, does a man have to stay loyal? Or does a woman have to stay loyal in a relationship if one doesn't want to make love over a certain duration of time? When you look at it from a Christian, biblical based, then you just got to go get counseling. And you got to do everything you can to communicate so that you can bring back that desire. Then again, there's so much going on. I'm just speaking from experience. I've heard all the excuses in the world from a woman. And when you do the barbershop talk, men with men, or the beauty shop talk, women with women, I've heard both sides. And sometimes people use sex as punishment. I think that's wrong. And some people use it as a way of punishment because that's the only option that he or she had, because the other person was doing something, whatever that is, or the lack thereof. Now let's listen to the pastor. I really, guys, want you to listen to this pastor, and he clowns. He's in a church, and it's a 13-minute video. And I didn't get permission to play the whole thing, but we're gonna play this first minute. Listen to how he talks about this thing.
Number one need of a male, write this down, is sex.
Please like and subscribe for
The number one need of a male is sex. Listen.
Now, I want you all to remember what you see, okay? The number one need of a male, write this down, is sex.
Please like and subscribe for more.
Write that down, you need to know that. The number one need of a male is sex. I didn't say the number one need of a man, because a man is spirit. A man needs God. But the number one need of a male is sex. Why? Because the male is designed by God to be a progenerator. That means the male is always full of seed. His purpose in life is to provide seed. That's why every male right now is carrying 500 million sperms in his loins right now. He's a seed carrier. So his number one purpose in life is to provide the genes or the generations or the generations, the genes for the generations. So a male is designed by God to produce generations. That's why when God wanted to create a nation, he never went to a woman, he went to a man, because a man carries the generations. He said, Abraham, a nation shall come from you, and Sarah will incubate the nation. So the man needs sex. The man doesn't want sex, he needs sex. Say he needs it. Men don't want sex, they need sex. A need is something that helps you function.
A man needs sex. He doesn't want sex. Now, I'm sure you guys can debate that. And I would too. I think the same thing holds for a woman. There's a need and there's a want. You got to listen to the video because he really breaks down what need is. God in Genesis, he said, go ahead and be fruitful and multiply. In modern day, a person would say, go get busy, right? But what's the objective of multiplication? That God be glorified throughout the generations. You teach, you train, you develop, you love, you grow, you nourish. You make love and give love, receive God, you receive love. And then your offspring, everything's reciprocated, everything's repeated. That cycle is what's supposed to have happened, starting from the garden with Adam and Eve. Then the pastor goes on, he says, okay, now he distinguished between a man, physical, and a man, a spiritual man. The physical man needs to have sex. The spiritual man, well, put it like this. A physical man needing of sex, that's his number one need. But in the spirit realm, a man's number one need is to need God. I like the way he distinguished the two, because you put God first in all things. And it's a blessing that as you put God first, even in your relationships, which includes sex, you're following what God has ordained. Lovemaking, believe it or not, is ordained. When he said be fruitful and multiply, you don't create. God creates. God fashions that in the womb. eggs, ovaries, you know how it go. But put in the comment section why you think there's a disconnect. Because later in the video, what the pastor said was that a woman's number one need is affection. Don't you marinate on that? Trying to pop the balloon again? A woman's number one need is affection. A man's number one need is to have sex. Personally, I would say that both should find God. And I'm sure that's what Pastor believes. You find God, you understand how you should learn to relate in relation to biblical principles. And then you got to go through that dating process. Some people believe that the dating process doesn't start till after you're married, because you're showing out and trying to put your best foot forward to make an impression, because the goal would be married, right? Would be marriage. So arguably, it doesn't start till after you're married, because then the realness come out. Put that in the comment section. Think about it. I'm sure a lot of people regret once they get married that, wow, I didn't notice about that person. I get it. You know, between the crazy videos today and the entertainment industry, lovemaking has been exploited and taken out of context. And so the last few generations, they're not getting the essence, I believe, of what God intended, because you're bombarded with videos based on the flesh, based on lust. The eyes and the mind are working in concert to arouse you to do the act, as opposed to the mind and the heart approaching that opposite sex scripturally. It's off the chain. So now you got all these babies out here. Let's just be real, because we're gonna talk about this tonight, right? Now, Satan has marketed sex, again, lust, promiscuity. It really takes the blood of the lamb to keep your loins under control. It really does. Some folks say people got lust demons. Some do, because there are lust demons. And then you got the opposite. Some people just have no appetite at all for it, and their mate didn't know. And their mate was suffering, and they wind up leaving them. So you're not saved and you were having sex, and then now you stop, or you're married, whether you're Christian or not, then you stop. Person can really start coming a little bit unhinged, because they might think that either you're cheating or something wrong with you. Leads to arguments. Then again, like I said, sometimes sex, the lack of it, use it as a weapon. So now you use it as a way of, well, you got to give me some money. Look, y'all know how the street go. In this generation, even the last generation, there's too much emphasis on the physical and the bump and grind and the style of dress in relation to seduction, and less emphasis on the romance and relating. I'm going to say it again. Over the last 2, maybe 3 generations, we put too much emphasis on sex, the clothing, the music in sex, the lusting of it, and less on romance, dating, and relating. One of the biggest things I found out is that a man and a woman, we got to start listening in a relationship. Because that will lead to less romance. When a person doesn't feel, and a woman is more feely than a man, arguably, when you disconnect from her as a man, you wonder why she's not as affectionate or making love to you? Because you're not connecting here and here. Because you're trying to start down there first. Do you understand, fellas? You got to understand how she wired, which is a beautiful thing. God didn't make her like you. And God didn't make him like you, baby. So we got to understand, we got to listen. And ain't nothing wrong with being, attentive to listen. Because long term, you get it right. Find out what she likes. Find out what he likes. Ain't nothing wrong with some roses and some chocolates. That don't make you a simp. You just appreciate it. The bottom line is that when you appreciate and you show love, men show love sometimes and affection in different ways, ladies. So you want to get him on the couch and watch a movie? If he didn't bought you roses and chocolates and you just ignoring it, what you expect him to do? He might go in angry mode in a slight way. Like, wow, are you other guy giving you some attention? People, we think like that, and vice versa. Women can feel the same way. Well, I just bought him lunch. I just bought him dinner. I'm always doing things for him. I wash his clothes, whatever. And he's not saying thank you. He don't buy me a Hallmark card. He don't sing to me. Something. He don't run my bath water. He don't do my feet. He don't get my nails done. Now, some people might argue and say, well, you know what? She got her own money. Let her do it. Fellas, ain't nothing wrong with showing some attention. Stop listening to these content creators who don't know what the hell they're talking about. I know sometimes you can go extreme and get taken advantage of. But the average woman or the average man, if you are sincere, it will work. But both got to be sincere. Because if you stop and listen to these content creators, they think they got a patent on understanding these relationships. They don't. They ain't Dr. Phil, they ain't Oprah. They don't know. I don't care how many years they've been in it. Your woman is unique to you. And your man is unique to you. You understand? Although you can learn from other people. But you can't always apply everything you hear on these social media. Listen to each other. And when that chemistry binds so great, so strong, so beautiful, you can start looking each other in the eye with no words, and you'll speak love to each other. It's a love language. Understand what I'm talking about? It's innocence. Unfortunately, there's a shortage of that, and there's a shortage of marketable, good men and women. It doesn't mean that there's not a possibility to get to that point. Some people might call this old school, but hey, old school lasted longer. I listened to an older woman the other day, and she was in a nice way scolding younger women. She said, y'all want to get a man without investing time in him. You want him to have everything, $100,000, car, house, and everything. You don't want to work toward anything. Basically what she's saying is that y'all want an ever-ready man. And some men want an ever-ready woman. Well, you know what? With this economy, and you sifting through who you going to date, look, be wise, be smart. If he got it going on and she got it going and you get with her, just show some appreciation. But if you come together and you know and you see potential in each other, work toward the goal. So once you get married, you got something to look back on. It's called memories. God bless y'all.